My child, I need to tell you something that will change how you see everything that has happened to you. You have been asking why certain doors closed. You have been wondering why specific people left your life. You have been questioning why that opportunity didn't work out, why that relationship ended, why that job wasn't given to you. But what if I told you that every single one of those closures was an act of protection? What if every door I closed was because I saw something you couldn't see? What if every person I removed from your life was because I saw a danger you were blind to? You think the closed door was the problem, but I was standing on the other side of that door, seeing what would have happened if you had walked through. You think the person who left was a loss, but I saw what that person would have done to your spirit, your purpose, your future. You think the missed opportunity was a failure, but I saw how that opportunity would have derailed everything I had planned for you. This is what you need to understand. I don't close doors to punish you. I don't remove people to hurt you. I don't block opportunities to keep you stuck. I do these things because I love you too much to let you walk into what would destroy you. There is a difference between what you want and what is good for you. There is a vast difference between what makes you happy in the moment and what creates your destiny. Your limited perspective can only see what is in front of you, but I see around corners. I see down roads you haven't traveled. I see the end from the beginning. And from my vantage point, I could see dangers approaching that you had no idea were coming. I could see traps being set that looked like opportunities. I could see people moving toward you with intentions that looked good on the surface, but were poison underneath. So I protected you the only way I could. I made that door slam shut. I put distance between you and that person. I blocked that path even though you didn't understand why. And now, as time has passed, haven't you begun to see it? Haven't circumstances revealed what I was protecting you from? Haven't you discovered that what you thought was a loss was actually a narrow escape? This is the moment I want you to understand the full picture. This is the time I want to show you what was really happening while you were hurting. Think about the person who broke your heart and left. You were devastated. You thought your world was ending. You couldn't imagine how you would survive the pain. But look at where you are now. Look at who you have become since that person left. Can you see now that staying with that person would have slowly destroyed your spirit? Can you see that the pain of their leaving was actually the pain of healing, the pain of being freed from something that was slowly poisoning you? I saw it coming. I positioned circumstances to move that person out of your life because I refused to watch you diminish yourself for someone who didn't deserve you. Or think about the job you desperately wanted and didn't get. You applied with all your hope. You went to interviews believing this was your breakthrough. You didn't get it, and your heart broke. You thought I had abandoned you, that I wasn't providing, that I didn't care about your needs. But I knew something about that job that you didn't know. I knew about the environment that would have slowly corrupted your integrity. I knew about the people you would have worked for who would have used you and discarded you. I knew about the path that job would have set you on that would have moved you away from your true purpose. So I closed that door. I protected you from something you couldn't see. This is the pattern throughout your life. The things you thought were failures were actually redirections. The things you thought were rejections were actually protections. The things you thought were losses were actually narrow escapes from disaster. I have been orchestrating your safety your entire life, and you didn't even know it. There have been accidents that didn't happen because I moved you out of the way. There have been betrayals that were prevented because I saw them coming and removed those people first. There have been diseases that were stopped before they could take root because I saw them forming and intervened. There have been financial losses prevented by blocking bad deals. There have been emotional devastations avoided by ending relationships before they went too far. You think your life has been hard because of all the closed doors. But what if your life has been protected because of all the closed doors? What if the reason you're still standing, still breathing, still believing is because I have been actively protecting you from things that would have destroyed you completely? What if the pain you felt at the time was actually the pain of being saved, not the pain of being abandoned? This changes everything, doesn't it? This reframes every disappointment into a deliverance. This transforms every rejection into a rescue. I want you to understand something very important about protection. Protection often looks like pain from the inside. It feels like rejection when it's actually rescue. It feels like abandonment when it's actually shielding. The person being protected doesn't feel safe, they feel hurt. But the one doing the protecting sees clearly. I saw the danger. I moved you to safety. The fact that it hurt is not a sign I didn't care. The fact that it was painful is evidence of how much I care. Because true protection sometimes requires breaking your heart to save your life. There are dangers in this world that you cannot perceive. There are spiritual forces working against you that you cannot see. There are people with intentions toward you that operate in darkness. There are opportunities that are actually traps. There are paths that look good, but lead to destruction. You cannot see these things. Your human eyes cannot pierce the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds. Your human wisdom cannot comprehend the long-term consequences of decisions made in the moment. But I see everything. I see the whole board. I see every player. I see every move being made against you. And I have positioned myself between you and every threat. I have stood guard over your life. I have blocked what needed to be blocked. I have removed what needed to be removed. I have redirected you when you were heading toward danger. This is what my protection looks like. It is not always comfortable. It is not always what you want, but it is always what you need. It is always what saves you. It is always what keeps you alive and moving toward your destiny. Now I want to speak to some specific things that I have been protecting you from. There are people in your life who pretended to be your friends, but were actually working against you. They smiled to your face while planning how to use you. They offered advice that was meant to mislead you. They made promises they never intended to keep. You may not have known this. You may have trusted them completely. But I knew. I saw their hearts. I heard their private conversations about you, and I began the process of moving them out of your life. Some left because I made it uncomfortable for them to stay. Some left because circumstances conspired to separate you. Some left because I whispered to your spirit that something was wrong, and you began to distance yourself. And then there are the temptations you didn't fall into because I protected you. There were addictions that didn't take root because I strengthened your resistance at critical moments. There were destructive relationships that didn't happen because I intervened before they could form. There were financial mistakes that didn't occur because I blocked your path at the crucial moment. There were compromises of your integrity that didn't happen because I reminded you of your values. There were sins that didn't occur because I gave you the strength to say no. You thought you were strong on your own, but I was there, shielding you, protecting you, keeping you from falling into traps that would have changed your entire trajectory. There are also the health crises I prevented. There are the accidents that didn't happen. There is the illness that was stopped before it could take hold. There is the disaster that was averted by the smallest of circumstances. You didn't notice these things because they didn't happen. You cannot mourn what never occurred. You cannot grieve a tragedy that was prevented. But I prevented them. I protected you from things that never came to pass because I intervened. This is the invisible protection that has been your constant companion. But there is more. There are the people I kept away from you because I knew they would distract you from your purpose. There are the opportunities I blocked because they would have sidetracked you from your destiny. There is the success that I delayed because you weren't ready to steward it yet. There is the recognition I withheld because the attention would have corrupted your humility. There is the comfort I didn't give because the struggle was building your character. Everything that I protected you from or protected you through has been part of a larger design. You see, protection is not just about preventing bad things. Protection is also about preserving good things. Protection is about keeping you on the path toward your true purpose. Protection is about ensuring that when you finally step into your destiny, you have the character, the wisdom, the strength, and the foundation to not just receive it, but to maintain it and build upon it. This is why some doors closed. This is why some people left. This is why some opportunities didn't materialize. I was protecting your future, even as you were in pain about your present. Now I know you may be wondering, if you were protecting me, why did it hurt so much? Why didn't you just tell me what was happening? Why didn't you explain so I wouldn't have to suffer? And I will tell you the truth. If I had told you everything, you wouldn't have believed me. You would have tried to convince me I was wrong. You would have fought against my protection. You would have reasoned your way into danger because you couldn't see what I could see. The only way to protect you was to let you feel the pain of separation while trusting that I knew what I was doing. The only way to save you was to let you grieve what I was taking away, while believing that it was for your good. This is hard love. This is the love that doesn't always feel good. This is the protection that looks like pain from your perspective. But this is the love that saves. This is the protection that preserves. This is the care that keeps you alive and moving toward everything I have destined for you. And now that time has passed, now that you can see some of the consequences that would have occurred, now that you can understand some of what I was protecting you from, I want you to release the anger. I want you to let go of the bitterness toward me for the doors I closed. I want you to forgive me for the pain of the protection. Because forgiveness in this case means trusting that I was right. Forgiveness means accepting that even though it hurt, it was necessary. Forgiveness means releasing the resentment toward the closed doors and the removed people and the blocked opportunities, and instead seeing them as evidence of love. Forgiveness means looking back and saying, God was right. God saw what I couldn't see. God protected me from what would have destroyed me. This is the forgiveness I am asking for. This is the release I need from you. Not because I need your permission to love you, but because you need to release the pain so it doesn't poison your future. Once you understand this, once you truly grasp that every closed door was protection, your entire perspective shifts. You stop seeing life as something that is happening to you. You start seeing life as something that is happening for you. You stop blaming yourself for the doors that closed. You stop wondering if you could have done something differently to make things work out. You stop carrying the guilt of rejection. You stop bearing the shame of failure. Instead, you see protection. You see love. You see a God who is so committed to your well-being that he will endure your anger, your confusion, your pain, all to keep you safe. And here is what I want you to know going forward. This protection is not stopping. I am not done protecting you. There are still dangers ahead that you cannot see. There are still people who will try to hurt you that you are not aware of. There are still traps being set that look like opportunities. There are still false paths that look like the right direction. And I will continue to protect you. I will continue to close doors that need to be closed. I will continue to remove people who need to be removed. I will continue to block paths that lead to destruction. Trust me. Trust that what looks like rejection is actually rescue. Trust that what feels like abandonment is actually protection. Trust that I see what you cannot see and I am acting in your best interest. The closed doors of your past have been protection. The closed doors of your future will also be protection. Learn to trust the closures. Learn to accept the removals. Learn to embrace the blocks as evidence of love rather than evidence of abandonment. When a door closes, don't spend energy trying to open it. Instead, look around and see what new direction is being opened. When a person leaves, don't spend energy trying to bring them back. Instead, trust that I saw something you couldn't, and I am protecting you from harm. When an opportunity doesn't materialize, don't spend energy regretting what didn't happen. Instead, wait for the better opportunity that I am preparing. This is the secret that transforms your life. This is the understanding that brings peace. This is the revelation that allows you to move forward without bitterness. When you truly understand that I have been protecting you from something you can't see, you can release the need to understand everything. You can let go of the demand for explanations. You can surrender to my guidance even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. You can trust that I am orchestrating your safety even when all the evidence seems to point to abandonment. This is the faith that moves mountains. This is the trust that opens new doors. This is the surrender that creates space for miracles. And I am asking you to step into this faith now. I am asking you to trust that what I have been doing in your life has been for your protection. I am asking you to believe that every closed door was a blessing in disguise. I'm asking you to accept that every person who left was removed for a reason. I'm asking you to embrace the closed opportunities as narrow escapes from danger. When you do this, when you truly accept this protection and this love, everything shifts. The bitterness transforms into gratitude. The pain transforms into understanding. The anger transforms into appreciation. You begin to see your life differently. You begin to see me differently. You begin to see yourself differently. You are not a failure. You are protected. You are not abandoned. You are shielded. You are not stuck. You are being carefully guided toward your destiny by someone who sees everything and loves you infinitely. So receive this now. Receive the understanding that I have been protecting you. Receive the assurance that every closure has been an act of love. Receive the confidence that I will continue to protect you as you move forward. Receive the peace that comes from knowing that someone who sees all and knows all is standing between you and every threat. Receive the gratitude for the protection you didn't even know you were receiving. And most of all, receive the love that motivated every closed door, every removed person, every blocked opportunity. That love is still here. That protection is still active. That care is still constant. This is not the end of the story. This is the beginning of your understanding. This is where you start to see that the plot of your life is not random. It is not accidental. It is being carefully orchestrated by someone who loves you more than you can imagine. And once you see this, once you truly believe this, you become unstoppable. You become free. You become the person you were always meant to be, because you are finally understanding that you have never been alone. You have always been protected, and you always will be.